Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make a rich, aromatic and absolutely delicious beef Maklouba rice at home. Maklouba, which means upside down, is a beautiful Middle Eastern dish made with perfectly spiced beef, fragrant rice and layers of vegetable, all cooked together and flipped to create a stunning presentation. This dish is packed with deep flavors, tender meat, and comforting aroma that will fill your entire kitchen. And the best part, it is easy to make than you think. So let's get started and bring this amazing restaurant style dish right into your home kitchen. Get started. First, let's look at the ingredients I am using today. I have shown you biryani spice few times before, but today I will show you again because this one is little special. This is not a regular spice mix. It's packed with variety of whole spices. The best part is I am not using separate garam masala in this recipe. That's because this spice mix already include all the ingredients that go into garam masala as well. So this is basically two in one spice blend. Biryani masala and garam masala combined. If you follow this recipe, you won't need to add any extra garam masala at all. For this recipe, I am using 1/3 cup of coriander seeds and half that amount of cumin seeds. Then I have 2 teaspoons of fennel seeds. I am also adding turmeric powder, mustard seed and fenugreek seeds about half a teaspoon each. For extra flavor and heat, I am using 1 tablespoon of pepper powder and 1.5 tablespoon of chili powder. I'll also add 1 tablespoon of kasturi methi and salt to taste. Now I am going to keep the powder spices, chili powder, turmeric and black pepper powder aside for later. The rest of the whole spices will go into a pan while I will lightly toast them to bring out their aroma. I am also adding some fresh curry leaves as well. Here I have whole nutmeg. I crushed it slightly to make it easier to grind. And this is mace, the outer layer of the nutmeg. It has a beautiful aroma and adds really special flavor to the spice mix. This is black cardamom. You might not have seen this before, but it gives a deep earthy flavor to the dish. You can usually find it in Indian groceries. I am also using green cardamom, about 10 to 15 pods, along with cloves, bay leaves, and cinnamon stick. Since I'm not adding garam masala separately, I am using a little extra of these whole spices to build more flavor. Now, all along with some curry leaves, I am going to add all the whole spices into a pan except the powder spices and lightly toast them to bring out their full aroma. Now, this step is not about roasting the spices. We just giving them a gentle heat to remove any moisture and help release their natural aroma. So don't try to change the color of the spice. Keep the heat low and just warm them slightly until you can smell that beautiful fragrance coming through. This simple step make a big difference in the final flavor. It's always best to prepare the grind mix fresh when you are making your biryani or maklouba. You can store it if needed, but freshly ground spice will always give you the best and most vibrant flavor. Before grinding, make sure the spices are completely cooled down. Don't grind them while they are still hot. This can affect both the texture and the flavor. So let them cool fully and then grind everything into a fine aromatic powder. Now I am going to fry the onions. I have three large onions here, thinly sliced. I am adding about 1 cup of oil to the pan. You can use either vegetable oil or coconut oil for this. Fry the onions until they turn a beautiful golden brown. Once they are ready, transfer them into a strainer or remove any excess oil. Now I am going to use the same pan and oil. I'll add the cashew. Mine are already roasted, so I'm just giving them a quick dip in the oil, hot oil. You don't need to fry them again, but this step helps them absorb a little bit of that rich flavor from the oil. For today, I am using vegetable like eggplant, potatoes, carrots, and cauliflower. You don't need to deep fry them. Just cook them until they nicely sealed and lightly golden on both sides. I have already prepared my vegetable using an air fryer, which is great option for you want to use less oil. But if you don't have an air fryer, you can easily do this step in a pan using the same oil we used for the onions. I will show you how they look after cooking. While cooking the vegetable, keep the heat on high so they'll cook quickly and develop a nice golden color on the outside. This helps to seal the vegetable and add extra flavor without making them too soft. These are my vegetables cooked in the air fryer. I just slightly sprayed them with oil, that's all. I have got eggplant, potatoes, cauliflower, carrot, and some tomatoes. If you don't have an air fryer, don't worry, you can do the same in a pan with a little bit of oil. No need to deep fry them. Here are my tomatoes lightly cooked in oil as well. I already prepared everything my cashew, fried onion, and this is the curry powder I made earlier. It's freshly ground and very aromatic. This quantity is more than enough for one recipe, so I will only using the couple of tablespoon of this curry powder. Now I am going to marinate the beef. Here I have about 1.5 kilos of beef cut into slightly larger pieces, not small bite size. For this dish, like biryani or maklouba, bigger pieces work really well. I am adding 1 cup of natural yogurt. You can use curd or plain yogurt, but make sure not sweet. Next, I am adding handful of fresh coriander and mint leaves. I will keep the rest aside to use later. Now for the spices. I am adding about 3 tablespoons of the spice mix I prepared earlier. This is where the most of the flavor and heat comes from. Then 1.5 teaspoon of turmeric and 2 teaspoon of salt. I also add 2 teaspoons of garlic paste and 1 teaspoon of ginger paste. For richness, I am adding about 2 teaspoons of ghee. Along with a little bit of fried onion we made earlier. Now mix everything really well so the beef is fully coated with those flavors. Then let it marinate for a few hours. Overnight in the fridge is the best. But if you are short on time, just let it rest as long as you can. I have 3 cups of basmati rice soaked for more than 1 hour. If you're using basmati rice, try to choose a good quality long grain variety. There are different types available, including short grain and long grain. But for the dishes like biryani or maklouba, long grain basmati works best for the perfect texture and look. Now I am going to cook the beef. I transfer the marinated beef into a pan and then rinse the bowl with a little water and add that into the pan as well. We don't want to waste any of the flavor. Now let it cook until the beef is fully done and nice and tender. Make sure to stir the curry from time to time so that the meat cooks evenly and the spices don't stick to the bottom of the pan. This will take around 30 minutes depending on the tenderness of the beef. The beef is not fully cooked yet. So at this stage I am adding 3 large chopped tomatoes. Mix everything well and let the tomatoes cook down into the curry, adding more flavor and richness. Now my beef curry is ready. Rich, flavorful and perfectly cooked. Next it's time to cook the rice. I have added the soaked rice into a pan with plenty of water. Don't worry about the water level. It should be excess, just like cooking pasta. To flavor the rice, I am adding bay leaves, a piece of cinnamon, few cardamom pods, and some cloves. This will give the rice a beautiful aroma. At this stage, we are only cooking the rice about 75 to 80%. It will finish cooking later in the final step. Make sure to add enough salt to the water because once we drain it, the rice will absorb that seasoning. Stir the rice from time to time so it cooks evenly and doesn't stick together. You will know it's ready when the rice is soft on the outside but still slightly firm inside. That means it's about 75 to 80% cooked. At this stage, drain the water and transfer the rice into a strainer. Now it's time for the assembly, bringing everything together. Take a large heavy bottom pan that's big enough for the whole dish because the rice will finish cooking in here and need a little space to expand. Today I am using this blue pot. First I will add a little ghee to the bottom and lightly grease the sides on the pan. This helps prevent the rice from sticking and add extra flavor. Now I am placing the vegetables at the bottom of the pan. Arrange them evenly: eggplant, potatoes, cauliflower, carrot, and tomatoes. You can mix the colors and place them however you like. It doesn't have to be a perfect. Just spread them out nicely to create a beautiful base layer. Now I am adding a layer of beef on top. Not all of it, just enough to create a nice layer along with some of the rich gravy. Next come a layer of cooked rice. Spread it evenly over the beef. Now I am adding a fresh mint and coriander leaves, followed by fried cashews and layer of crispy fried onions. Try to make this as beautiful as possible. This dish is not only delicious but also usually stunning. The aroma at this stage is absolutely amazing. I have drizzled a little bit of ghee on the top for extra richness. We didn't use much ghee earlier, so this is really helps to bring everything together. Now I am adding another layer, more rice, then another layer of beef. You can just adjust the amount of meat depending on your preference. For me, with 3 cup of rice, I am using about 1.5 kilos of beef. But you can adjust this based on your family's taste. I am keeping some of the gravy aside. You can serve it later with the rice. To finish, I am adding the rest of the rice on top. Even it doesn't fully cover everything, that's completely fine. Now I am topping with more fried cashews and onions. I don't have biryani coloring today, so I am adding just a drop of orange food color. If you have saffron, that would be the best option. This gives a beautiful color to some of the rice grain. Finally, add a little more fried onion, cashew, and some fresh herbs on top. Now everything is layered and ready. Now it's going back onto the stove for a final cooking step. Now I am covering the pot with the foil to make sure no steam escapes. If you don't have foil, you can use a clean tea towel under the lid to create a tight seal. This helps trap the steam inside, which will gently finish cooking the rice and bring all the flavors together perfectly. Cook on the stove about 20 minutes on medium low heat. After that, turn the heat and leave it to rest about 10 to 20 minutes without open the lid. This allows the steam to finish cooking the rice and helps all the flavors settle perfectly. Now it's time for the best part. I am going to open the lid and show you. Wow, just look at that. Oh my god, it looks absolutely beautiful. You should smell my kitchen right now. I honestly can't wait to eat this. But we are not done yet. This dish has to be flipped upside down. It quite heavy, so it's best to get help from another person. Make sure you use a larger plate, big enough to cover entire pot. First, just check that the rice is perfectly cooked, mine just right. Now place the plate on the top of the pot, hold it firmly and carefully flip it over. Be very careful. The pot is hot and the plate can be slippery. So that take your time and get someone to help you if needed. Alright. Moment of truth. Let's lift the pot. Finger crossed. Look at this. All the eggplant around the edges and tomatoes, carrot and potatoes, everything is perfectly layered. If anything stick to the pan, don't worry, you can just place it back on top. But this one came out perfectly. See how beautiful it looks. All the eggplant around the edge, the tomatoes, carrot and potatoes, everything is perfectly layered. If anything stick on the pan, don't worry, you can just place it back on top. But this one came perfectly. Just look at those layers. The rice is perfectly fluffy and the beef is tender and fully flavor and the vegetables have absorbed all those beautiful spices. And this is definitely a dish you have to try at home. It's comforting, flavorful, and absolutely worth it. Thanks for watching.